extending your life. Is this possible? I want to talk today about theories that there are out there about how you live longer through diet, through health, through what you're doing. Is there any truth behind it? Is there any science to back it up? What's the crack? Should you be bothering about it? And in particular, we're going to go over intermittent fasting, the good bits, the bad bits, the ugly bits. Let's dive into it. I was literally training someone just the other day in the gym, an older guy, but he's pretty fit, pretty healthy, wants to stay strong, wants to stay fit, wants to stay healthy. And we got into the subject of diet, and I've never really spoken to him about it before because that's not his primary goal. And he's saying how he does intermittent fasting. And I was like, okay, cool, what's that for? As you guys well know, like I'm all for any diet that you find sustainable and that helps you stay lean and fit, really. Now, he was saying not only did he do it to lose weight and to stay lean, and that fasting was the key to doing that, but also he'd seen and read all these benefits about living longer and longer, all this sort of these miracle benefits from fasting. And I was trying to share the point with him, which he struggled to understand. So I'm going to communicate with you guys as well, because I want to be completely clear about the truth here. So the reason I have nothing against intermittent fasting, I actually think it's really good for some people. Lots of people I've trained don't have time to eat breakfast. They're not even hungry when they wake up. And yet there's this whole thing of, eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a nobleman or whatever, and eat dinner like a pauper, or however the saying goes. But there's no real truth to that. You don't have to eat a massive breakfast. It's not going to be the key for your weight loss or your weight gain or whatever it is. Just as by skipping breakfast, it isn't going to be the key to your weight loss or your weight gain. Lots of the time when I've done intermittent fasting myself, I've been that hungry by lunchtime, I've eaten so much that my calories have been a struggle anyway. So what we have to remember here is that, again, the calorie deficit is the rule why you lose weight. Your calorie surplus is why you put on. Your calories, your energy in versus energy out. That is what happens. That's why you stay lean. That's why you put on weight, whatever it might be. Fasting, the method of only eating for a period of days, a period of hours in the day, that has nothing to do with your weight loss. That just means you're restricting your calories because you're not having breakfast. It's pure and simple, okay? So I want to be real key. But if you are someone that is struggling to have breakfast, who feels like they're thin in, who doesn't feel hungry, that isn't going to be the secret for your weight gain or weight loss. It's your overall calories. Now, when it comes to longevity of life, is there any truth behind the fact that if you fast, if you eat for a 16, or if you don't eat for a 16-hour window and you only eat for an 8-hour window, or whatever the fasting, the 5-2, or whatever it might be that you're doing, but prolonged periods of not eating, is there any truth to that? Well, from all of the research I've done, from everything that I've ever seen, there is nothing scientifically proven that says fasting is the way forward for longer life. There is nothing concrete. There's theory, there's some people who have tried it, there's some people who haven't. Pretty much the only study that I've ever found where there's been anything to replicate better health and longevity of health with fasting is when they did it on inchworms. And what they found with the inchworms is that although the inchworms live longer, the ones on a restrictive diet, were a time restrictive diet, like something like fasting that replicated it, they live longer. However, all their children and their children's children, because they weren't as nourished and they weren't as fit or able or whatever the inchworm says, I'm no inchworm doctor, all their children died younger. So, I mean, unless you're an inchworm, I wouldn't be particularly looking into that information in much knowledge, in much look at fasting and be like, is it going to make me healthier? Is it going to help me stay leaner? Is it going to help me fight off a lot of body fat? If it is it a better and healthier way for you to go? Maybe. Is that then going to help you have a healthier and maybe a longer life? Hopefully, potentially, because you're looking yourself after more, but it's nothing to do with the actual fasting part of it. And I've seen no evidence in all the stuff that I've done that's any different. So to summarize, guys, if you think fasting is going to work for you, if you like not eating all day and eating one meal in a day, as long as you're hitting your calories, as long as you're hitting your macros, as long as you're hitting your deficit, I've not got a problem with it, as long as you can do it sustainably. If you enjoy 16 and 8 fasting diets, or 5 and 2, where you eat restricted calories for 2 days, and whatever it might be. Like, that's fine. It's all good as long as you can do it sustainably, and as long as that sustainable part therefore makes you leaner, lighter, fitter, healthier, all those benefits from it. But don't go putting all your pennies in the basket saying the reason I am now losing weight is because I'm not eating breakfast. The reason that I am, going to live longer is because I'm not eating breakfast. Because for one, the weight loss bit, that just isn't true. Weight loss, as I've said, is about calories in, calories out. And the longevity bit, there is literally no scientific evidence behind it that is substantial. It hasn't been going on for long enough, for one. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Let me know if you've got any thoughts, if you agree or disagree with my summary. I'll chat to you soon.